Uh, that is a lot of text, and that is a lot of skills. I think the amount of skills we have might be the same as Manager Don. We got the same amount of bloat going on here, and I guess because of that, we're gonna be doing a whole lot of reading. I guess actual details, subject change. Okay, basic stuff. So other than like the amount of insane skill bloat we have, I'm kind of interested in the defense skills. They're both unbreakable coins. That's the first thing I noticed. These red coins here, because clashable guard, clashable counter. Like I guess technically like maybe the best kit, at least in my opinion, at least when looking at solos especially, is like clashable guard and evade. Evade for like dodging everything, and then the guard for like taking damage, I guess. But anyways, that's not about that. Um, we got Gloom, Envy, and Pride, and the super buffed skills, I guess the dash 2s, I don't know what to call them. They are the same color, so yeah, okay, pretty nice like color scheme affinity. I don't really know what to call it, but this will most likely just feed into like what do you call it, Rhyme Shank Rodion. I don't know any other ego she has that can like be fueled by these three colors other than just Rhyme Shank, but you know, all you need is Rhyme Shank just for the insane sinking count. But so we got a 2-corner S1, the Night Sanctuary, all Pierce. Everything in our kit is Pierce, just all Pierce. So target has X plus sinking, gain coin power, and at X plus protecting sword, gain clash power. So I guess buff give clash power, debuff give coin power. I guess the sinking might not be as important. It depends how much coin power it gives and how much sinking is required, because stacking up sinking isn't too hard in the current like modern day Limbus, but it can be a little hard sometimes, especially at like round start, or maybe like it's a new wave, so you have your buffs but you don't have your sinking. So definitely nice that this has clash and coin power. Skill 2 with the power of justice, the Envy 3-corner, X plus sinking, coin power, clash power for every X protecting sword. Okay, that's another buff, so not another clash power. But I guess on use, X plus deep tears consume X deep tears to do. So this is another buff, I guess, and deal more damage with that. Consume it to do more damage. Maybe, I guess it's like charge, I guess, I don't know. I haven't read the passives yet. But yeah, consume buff, do more damage, pretty basic stuff. Inflict sinking, on hit gain deep tears, okay, and gain additional deep tears. Okay, so there's not a synergy here where you gain like buffs based on other buffs, and they all like work together with each other, which is rather nice. You can get more based on one thing and vice versa, I guess. And the final skill is Arcana Pierce. If target has X plus sinking, gain coin power. Okay, makes sense. Gain clash power. Okay, makes sense. On use, X plus deep tears, consume up to Y deep tears. Okay, so you do more damage based on stack consumed. Gain base power. Okay, so you get base power too. So not only do you get clash power, you get base power and coin power. So that's like 3 different things. That's quite a bit. Let's say it's like 2 coin power for like the sinking thing. Maybe like 2 clash power for protecting sword. And maybe 1 or 2 base power for every stack consumed. That's a lot of adding up. Yeah, it really adds up. Okay, we got an after attack. If target is defeated, regain half of deep tears consumed by this skill. Okay, makes sense. We don't really see too many after attack things, but it's nice how you get a bit of a mileage out of it. If you get a kill with it, you get some of your deep tears back. Okay, do sinking count, inflict sinking equal to protecting sword? It depends on what protecting sword stacks out at. If it's like 5 or maybe 10, that's quite a bit of sinking then. But if it's only like 3 or 2, might not be that much. But it should be a lot, given how many swords can float around her. If this unit is tier sharpened or consumed with this quantity, okay, yeah, pretty basic damage multipliers. Now the skill 2s, Faded Faith, Gloom skill. Gain final power for every X sinking on target. Okay, final power is a bit interesting. We don't really see that often, I think. On use, lose SP. What do we got, like a hybrid minus coin identity, or is it just like a maybe SP cost? Inflict sinking, gain deep tears. Gain additional deep tears for every X piercing sword. Okay, just, you know, basically the same thing, same coins, just works a bit different, I guess. With the tier sharpened sword, that's 2-2. Gain final power for every X sinking, lose SP at X plus deep tiers, consume Y deep tiers to do more damage. Okay, so this one does sinkings, normal sinking. This does sinking and sinking count. So I guess you gotta get the buffed up S2 to get the count going. Because usually they just do like one count, and the S3 is the one that does all the count. These does the potency, these does the count. But I guess with the better S2, you get some count out of it. And it has a combat start. Gain additional deep tiers equal to piercing sword. This unit had it. Okay, so you basically just like, you constantly gain deep tiers. This is buff I'm seeing why you just gain it. I'm pretty sure it's charged. But yeah. Just gain sinking count, or inflict, not gain. Sorry. Whatever. These are basically the same. They're just better versions. Makes sense, because they're buffed up skills. S3-2 is Arcana, Tier, and Pierce. Gain final power for every X sinking on target. Okay, another final power. Lose SP. X plus deep tiers. Consume up to Y deep tiers. Deal plus stat consumed times X% damage. Gain base power like the previous S3. And after attack, regain... Okay, so after attack stays the same. These stay the same, sinking count and sinking. Almost, well, it's sinking count and sinking, but on hit, if this coin consumed tier sharpened, reuse coin once. Okay, so technically these are 3-coiners, but this one's a 3-coiner with a 4th coin locked to conditional. That makes sense. That's very good. Just like the high show packs, you know, they have 3 coins, they get that extra one on the reuse thingy. And then we have the defensive skills. We have a clashable guard and clashable counter. Combat start, gain coin power for every X protecting sword. Combat start, gain shield equal to SP divided by X. This unit's percentage max HP. Okay, yeah, you get shield, even though I feel like you don't really need shield on a clashable guard. They're already very good. If you win the clash, it's worthless to have shield, but I guess if you lose it, it's very helpful. This gives you deep tiers on you, so this might be your like main way of getting your deep tiers, kind of like how Zoe Ishmael has defensive stance. You know, you use this, get your deep tiers going, I guess. Turn end at less than 3, tier sharpened, lose SP and gain tier sharpened. Okay, if this unit had tier sharpened, lose tier sharpened, stack times X, more SP. So I guess you lose SP, kind of like how Magic Bullet Otis has the lose SP on defense use, the shield, you know what I mean. Weathered Pride, clashable counter, combat start, gain final power for every X piercing sword. On use, gain deep tiers. Okay, this is his final power for clashable counter. Interesting. At less than... Okay, same thing as the clashable card. And it just inflicts sinking. Nothing really special, just a clashable guard. Or counter, I mean, oopsies. But they have unbreakable as well, that's interesting. Maybe that's why they have final power, I guess, because like maybe they will break often, I'm not sure. Maybe because you'd be losing SP and you're not going to win the clash. Who knows? I don't really know the playstyle yet. Okay, that's enough of the actual like kit. Now we got a whole biblical entry as the passives. That's interesting, to say the least. I don't even know if Manager Dawn or Wild Hunt have this many. I am utterly terrified to go over Queen of Hatred Dawn, but you know, it'll be interesting. So let's start with the first passive. The sword sharpened with tears. Alert, ego gear sync threshold exceeded. I don't know what that means, that's probably not good. 0 or higher SP gain blessing. Uses plus coins as base skills. Turn start at less than 0 SP gain despair. Uses minus coins as base skills. Okay, so so instead of like Enclair where you have only minus coins, or maybe like Kimsalt where you have 1 minus coin and then all plus, it switches depending on what buff is active. So if you have despair or blessing. So that's actually really cool. It changes the base skills instead of like making like a whole different skill. That's very good. That's awesome. When gaining charge count, gain deep tiers instead. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so it is charge. So I guess you can slap her into MD and give her some charge gifts, I guess, if you wanted to do that. That's interesting. Very good. I always like some unique charge. Whispers of the Betrayed Knight. This unit's SP does not drop below minus 40 from the following effects. SP loss from this unit's base skills, SP loss from allies, support passives, SP loss effects from Tier Sharpened, SP loss from allied death, This unit's base fact. Okay, so you don't lose SP beyond -40 when someone dies. In an encounter, when this unit takes damage that brings its SP to -45, maintain this unit's SP at -44 for that turn. Once per encounter, the supply only to SP changes does not apply to SP changes or SP consuming abilities like using ego skills. Okay, so SP damage makes sense, but ego skills will still corrode. That's insane. That means so what? It'd be impossible to corrode? I don't know about impossible to corrode. Probably. I hope so, because that's insane. Not even Endclear had that. You have to like manage Endclear a lot. This is just insane. Alright, third passive. Holy, that's a lot of them. Break, Tear, and Pierce. If this unit has Piercing Sword before hitting an enemy with a base attack skill, consume Piercing Sword to inflict sinking. Okay. If this unit has X plus Piercing Sword before this turn's final base attack skill's final point hits, consume all of it instead to inflict a sinking. So what this means is that if you have Piercing Sword, you just do more sinking, I guess. You know, it's pretty simple, I guess. That's a very good. Just more sinking, I guess. I'm a little afraid to see how much sinking she's gonna do by herself. Imagine it's just like some insane count potency. If this unit has 3 Tear Sharpened before hitting an enemy with the final coin of a base attack skill, consume all Tear Sharpened to inflict sinking and sinking count, and deal more damage with that coin. Okay, pretty basic stuff here. If this effect activated, reset SP to 0, if this unit has less than 0 SP at turn end. When in panic or ego corrosion, recover and then heal SP. So I guess if she panics, she will immediately recover and go back to 0 SP or corrosion. But this effect has to activate. That's insane, damn. Uncorrode right now, I guess. The uncorrode button. Magical Girl of Justice, Knight of Despair. When in a blessing state, when in a despair state, take SP divided by X% HP damage from attacks. At X plus Protecting Sword, gain protection at combat start. At 5 Protecting Sword, gain more protection in class power up instead at combat start. When in a despair state, at X plus Piercing Sword, gain damage up. At combat start, at 5 Piercing Sword, gain more damage up in power up instead. I feel like it should be X, but like maybe they didn't want to be confusing. It's usually X, not 5. Quite interesting. And it's a support passive, I guess. Okay, this is actually really nice. And Claire gonna come in clutch with this. For all those who despair, combat start applies to the ally with the earliest deployment order. Oh, so only one person. X or less SP minus skill points gain final power. At Y or less SP minus skill points gain final power and do more damage. Okay, so Claire gonna become better. That's good to know. And now that we've read the passage, we can read what the buffs even mean to begin with. Blessing, turn start, gain Protecting Sword for every X SP. When clash ends, inflict sinking. Okay, so on clash you do sinking, not count, but just sinking. That's pretty insane. When hit, inflict sinking on the attack. Damn, this is so much sinking. You get hit, you do sinking. You win the clash, you do sinking. You attack, you do sinking. Everything does sinking. For every X SP, inflict Y more sinking potency with above effects. Place this unit's base skills with plus coin skill. Okay, blessing is plus. Despair is minus. Okay, makes sense. Protecting Sword is turn start, gain defense level up for every stack. Turn start, gain stack times X aggro to the leftmost skill slot on the dashboard. Max stack is 5, expires at turn end. Okay, so it's an aggro skill. That's interesting. I didn't really expect her to be like anything aggro related. Maybe she'll be kind of tanky, I guess? I mean, I guess from what I'm seeing, maybe she'll be decently tanky. Kind of like High Show Faust. That's interesting. I didn't expect... I mean, aggro's not really common to begin with, so... Anyway. Despair, turn start, gain Piercing Sword for every XSP. When clash ends, inflict sinking count. Okay, just copied from the Blessing, makes sense. That stays the same. On hit with the first coin of a base attack skill, inflict sinking count. For every XSP, inflict Y more sinking count with above effects. Replace this unit's base skills with minus coin skills. So this is the plus one, this is the minus one. That's the big thing. That's the big thing we gotta take a look at here and remember. Despair is minus, Blessing is plus. That's really interesting playstyle. I'm actually quite interested to see how that'll play out. Piercing Sword, gain 1 offense level. Okay, of course we need a offense level buff, like Manager Dawn and Wild Hunt. Gain 1 offense level for every stack. Turn start, stack times X aggro to the skill slots on the dashboard. This unit's okay, so it's not even like leftmost, it's just in general, I guess. Reduces aggro by the following range: 0x. I don't even know what that means, bro. I'm not that smart. Max stack 5 expires at turn 10. I guess the big thing is that it will reduce aggro over time. I guess it reduces it by the following range formula. Okay, Tear Sharpened. Turn start, gain deep tears. At 3 stack, gain additional deep tears. Turn end, lose stack times X SP. Base attack skills deal plus stack times X% more damage. Okay. If this unit has Blessing, gain Clash Power by the effect stack. If this unit has Despair, gain Pierce Power up. Okay, so you get Pierce Power up for this, and you get Clash Power up for this. So Blessing gives you Clash Power. Despair gives you Pierce Power. So maybe Despair is where the damage is going to happen? I'm honestly unsure, given that you get Pierce Power up. And max stack is 3. Okay. Deep Tears, unique charge, potency fixed. Resource used by certain skills for certain effects, or additional effects. Max stack is 20. So yeah, put her on an MD, maybe a charge team. Somehow it'll work, because, you know, they generate charge. That's pretty cool. I really like unique charges. They're like cool to me. And as for my thoughts on this, this is gonna be pretty insane, to say the least. My biggest takeaway from this is that you straight up cannot panic or corrode, because your SP just does not budge past minus 40 SP from this passive here. I assume you're gonna need some resources and stuff to get it going, but you know, it shouldn't be too difficult as long as you don't use egos too spammably. You don't spam it too much. You don't get hit by like a sinking or SP damage. You should be okay, and that's really good. Like, not even Enclair had this like level of ease of use. You have to manage him, but this is just like, no, I don't panic. I don't care. Don't corrode, don't panic. And yeah, I don't know. My general thoughts is just that this is gonna be an absolute insane unit. I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm low-key more excited for the Sword Sharpened with Tears Rodion, Lobotomy Ego, than the Queen of Hatred Dawn. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I just like the blue more. It just seems so much cooler to me. Anyways, if you enjoyed that whole Yap Fest, I guess, then maybe drop a thumbs up or something. I don't know. I don't usually do this. I think I've said before, but I'm not SGU, so I doubt this video will do well at all. If you guys want to hear someone with an actual brain talk about Limbus, then maybe watch the Ring Pointless Yi-Sang guy or SGU. You know, not me.